is up, everybody? Today we are back on Minecraft, and today we are going to be doing another investigation video. So what is an investigation video, you might be saying? And for those of you guys who are new, I'm going to go ahead and explain it very, very quickly. An investigation video is essentially where we go ahead and we take a look at a certain topic. I present a whole bunch of facts, evidence, and or other information, and then I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on the topic at hand. So, in order to, first of all, do this, we need to take a look at the information that brought the topic up. And so, recently I've been watching a couple of different YouTube videos, and I've seen people thinking that 4J Studios is hinting at the fact that we will be getting mod support. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we know for sure. We know for sure that sometimes 4J Studios will do things that are a little bit more sneaky and not incredibly clear with, like releasing or hinting at new features that we'll be seeing. So that includes things like changing their Twitter header to like maybe a skin pack that's coming, or maybe having a couple of skins. Same things with like mashup packs and texture packs, and even sometimes they'll like hide in like in other screenshots like different features that we'll see in different updates. So we know that sometimes they are kind of sneaky with their information and how they give it to us. And so some people are taking that fact and running with the idea that 4G Studios is going to be bringing mod support to the Minecraft on the console. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the information that makes people think this. So if we go ahead and we see this screenshot right here, we can see that this is supposedly a picture of 4G Studios favorites and the favorites that they have on Twitter. And so for you, those of you guys who don't know how Twitter works, essentially you can favorite people's tweets, and then you can like go back and look at them later if you want to, or it just signifies that maybe you saw it. And a lot of people just like favorite tweets randomly, and so they'll just click favorite to let people know that they saw it or something. But 4G Studios only has 7 total favorites on their Twitter page, and so it's kind of significant when they favorite things, because with only 7 Twitter favorites and 2,000 tweets and 500,000 followers, that's a pretty significant number of favorites to have if you manage to get in there. So anyway, the point is they have a very low number of favorites, and so when they favorite something, a lot of people are thinking that that means it's some kind of hint for us. And in fact, if you take a look at their other favorites, some of them have to do with like future updates that were coming out and different things like that. So that led a lot of people to believe that 4G Studios, by favoriting this tweet from Diamond Crew that actually said the next big update should be for mod support on the next gen, and you guys can make a mod. So that's what the tweet said, and that's the one they favorited, and that made a lot of people think that, whoa, maybe 4G Studios is telling us that we are going to be getting mods. Now, right when I saw this, the second I saw this, I became immediately skeptical. So the first thing I did is I went over to Diamond Crew's page, and I took a look at the tweet, and you can see here is the actual tweet as well as the one that he responded to, and you can see that it does have 9 retweets and 15 favorites. Now, if we scroll through the actual favorites that are listed on there, 4J Studios is not one of them, and if we go to their Twitter page, we can see that the tweet that was supposedly favorited by them isn't even there anymore. In fact, it's replaced by one by Blackie Chan that has absolutely nothing to do with mods or anything like that, and so that's kind of suspicious to me, right? Like, they still have 7 favorites, but it's not the favorite that we saw a second ago. So I was like, okay, that's a little suspicious. Maybe, maybe it's possible. And in fact, a lot of the people that were talking about the fact and trying to make it seem like 4G Studios was going to be bringing mods said that they just deleted the tweet and that they didn't want to give out that hint so early, and so they made sure that the tweet gotten rid of, I guess, and it's no longer on the internet circulating. However, like I said, I was actually able to find the original tweet. People said that the tweet was deleted. However, I think here by the screenshot that I'm showing you, you can clearly see it was not deleted, so that first of all isn't even true. But secondly, I went ahead and went into the tweet archives that like holds the tweets that have all the tweets that have ever been made on on Twitter ever. And so I looked through all of the comments, because for some reason, when I looked at the original tweet, there are no comments attached to it like there normally is. So to find the comments and to see what other people said, I was looking, and I found that a lot of people commented on this tweet and said that 4J Studios did favorite it. You can see here that Backoff said, hey, 4J favorited this, that's kind of odd. And someone else said, your tweet got favorited by @4J Studios, so most likely mods will be added. Somebody, some other people said no way. Somebody said the next big update should have mod support for the next gen. And so, that's that's okay. You know, like maybe they actually did favorite this tweet. Maybe that is actually a thing. And so if we go ahead and we take a look at the actual favorites on it, and we click on the 15 current favorites, and we scroll all the way down, we can see that at the very bottom it says one user has asked not to be shown in this view. And if you click on that, it pulls up the little Twitter page that talks about privacy and protecting your tweets. And so that would suggest that maybe 4J Studios favorited the tweet, and then they kind of hid their favorite from the public, so we can't actually see that they favorited the tweet anymore. And so that would lead a lot of people to believe that maybe we will actually be getting mod support in the future, and 4J Studios, whoever at 4J Studios rather favorited the tweet, maybe did it too soon, and so they had to hide the favorite from people to see. Now, I'm not entirely sure how like the protected tweet system works over on Twitter, so don't ask me about that. But what I do know is that it seems a little suspicious to me that you could block the ability to favorite some tweets and not others, right? So like you could favorite some tweets and have nobody see them, or you could favorite some other tweets and have everybody see them. Like, right, like you pick and choose which favorites people can see. And I don't think that that's a real setting. And from looking around through Twitter, I don't think that that's a real thing. So I think either 4J Studios just unfavorited that tweet and then refavorited it, or maybe somebody had a pretty good Photoshop job here. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Like, this looks like a pretty real photo, but I mean, that's really not very difficult to Photoshop. I could probably Photoshop that, honestly, and that is saying a lot, right? Because my Photoshop skills are not incredible. However, that doesn't account for all of the people that commented on the actual tweet, the original tweet, when I went back into the tweet archives and found the people that responded. That doesn't account for all of those people that went ahead and commented on it and said, you know, 4J Studios favorited this, and thus maybe, you know, prove the fact that they did favorite it. So I'm not entirely sure what to think of this. I'm not entirely sure what to take away from this. However, what I can tell you is that when I took a look at some of the people on the tweet archives that actually said that they had, you know, favorited the tweet, that 4J Studios had favorited the tweet, that, you know, their Twitter profiles were pretty doggone new, and most of them didn't have more than like 10 tweets total, and so that's a little suspicious to me and a little strange, but, you know, that's what I've got so far. So this was an investigation video, like I said, where I showed you guys literally all of the research that I came up with, and I want to hear what you guys think on this, right? So there's a couple of options that I can see here, right? So number one would be that 4G Studios actually did favorite this tweet, and that maybe they are planning on adding in the features. However, somebody else at 4G Studios said, no, don't do that. Don't tell them that we're doing that this early. And then they chose to unfavorite the tweet. Option two is that this is all fake and a total hoax, and somebody spent way too much time putting this together to try and fool people into thinking that we were going to be seeing mods in the future. Or option number three I can see is that maybe the 4G Studios actually did favorite the tweet, and maybe it was just a misclick. You know, maybe somebody accidentally clicked the favorite button. I know I've done it a million times over, and then I just unfavored it, and it's no big deal, and people are just blowing it way out of proportion. And honestly, I think that's probably the one that I'm leaning towards, is the fact that 4G Studios accidentally favorited a tweet, unfavorited it, and then everybody's like, wow, we're going to be getting mods. And, you know, I really don't know if that's the case. So anyway, that's all the research I've done. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this down in the comment section. I know this video was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. However, I did want to present all of the evidence and research that I came up with, instead of just saying, hey, 4G Studios favorited this, we're going to be getting mods, everybody go hoorah, and then we don't actually get mods and everybody's sad and disappointed, and then they come back to me and they're like, James, where are the mods? And I'm going to say, well, we did the investigation video and this is what I came up with, and so I want to, like I said, hear your guys' thoughts on it now. So anyway, that's what I've got to say. If you guys did enjoy this video, please do feel free to drop me a like down below and subscribe for some more Minecraft console content in the future. And if you guys want to see any more of these investigation videos, I know you guys enjoyed these in the past when I did them a lot more, and I would be more than happy to make some more if you guys want to see those. So feel free to drop that also down in the comment section if you guys want to see more of these, as well as the topics on which you want to see the investigation videos. And please, most importantly, leave your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section, because I really want to read through those and see what you guys have to say. So anyway, with that said, I think that's about it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see all of you later. Peace.